the bridging visa in Australia.
There's a certain feeling when you're on this type of visa.
You're on the edge
Especially when you get those
S56 cannot get this visa offshore, meaning you need to be in Australia and you need to have a substantive visa for you to be granted the bridging visa in. Noah, do you want to tell us how you came to be on a bridging visa?
If you know anything about Australian visa system, it takes a long time to get a decision. I've been waiting how long?
I'm quite thankful for the bridging visa. Imagine a situation where whilst you await a decision, you have to do that
offshore.
Noah currently is on a bridging visa. Perhaps we move into some of the cons, which is plenty. The very first one is the fact that
this visa, you're pretty much like
one leg in, one leg out. One important thing that we would love to share with you from my experiences, some of the cons of the bridging visa: you would not be eligible for Medicare card, which is tough. You would not be able to get a loan as well. It may decrease some people's chances of getting employed. If you go out of the country on a bridging visa A, you will not be allowed to enter Australia again, ever.
If you want to travel on this visa, basically there are some things you need to do, which is you need to apply to.
I am super pumped for this one now.
I am as well. I can't wait to get started, you know.
I know. I always love like the personal experiences and you know how we pretty much just talk about what we've done, what we've been through, and hopefully that helps someone out there. So today we've got something super packed, something that a lot of people do not talk about. I don't think that a lot of people speak about this because it's sort of like an underdog. What is this called, you may wonder? We want to talk about the bridging visa in Australia. Absolutely. Now, myself and Noah, we have at some point held a bridging visa. As a matter of fact, Noah currently does have a bridging visa.
I do. And you really understand why this is so important, and it's really important to have this conversation because for me, there's a certain feeling when you're on this type of visa that sometimes it's not the best, right? You know,
you're on the edge,
especially when you get those
S56.
Oh my God! You know how I always like feel when I get those emails. I'm like, oh, not again. Let's set the agenda for what we'll be talking about today.
I agree. I think that's extremely important. Always a good place to start, isn't it? So, okay, you may wonder, what exactly is a bridging visa and what are they going to talk about? In this video, we're going to share with you what a bridging visa is, specifically the types of bridging visa that we have had at some point. There are 4 types of bridging visa. We've got the bridging visa A, B, C, and E. So you can read more on all of these other category of the visa on the Department of Home Affairs website. But myself and Noah would love to share what we love about the bridging visa. There's always a good side to everything, guys. Not everything is bad, isn't it?
So absolutely not.
There's always the pros and the cons. So we're just going to share our experience as a bridging visa holder, Noah specifically as a bridging visa holder. If you've watched the last video, you would know that I currently hold a 491 visa. But if you haven't, please catch up with that video. I'll link it below in this video.
And before we get deeper, please do not substitute this information for
immigration advice or an expert advice because we are solely sharing our experience.
Our experience.
Keyword. It's our experience. Okay, so if you want a substantial advice or if you want a concrete advice, please visit a registered migration agent, or if you love research, go to the Department of Home Affairs website. It has every single thing.
I think that's the best advice you would get. So we're just going to be sharing our own personal experience, right? Living on this visa.
Okay.
So what is the first thing we're going to talk about?
The first thing would be, what is a bridging visa? A lot of people would love to know that. So a bridging visa really is a temporal visa that the Australian government would give you whilst you await a decision to be made on your application. Now, what really does happen is you cannot get this visa offshore, meaning you need to be in Australia and you need to have a substantive visa for you to be granted the bridging visa in. In simple terms, Noah, do you want to tell us what that looks like?
I don't know what substantive visa means. It means you must have a valid visa, say maybe student visa, work visa.
Or a visitor visa.
Visitor visa. You're trying to maybe apply to another visa.
That is correct.
Maybe like a 491 visa or a PR.
Yeah.
So those type of visa may take time. So before you get a decision on that visa, they give you a visa,
because that allows you to lawfully live in the country. Another caveat to that, to why you may be granted a bridging visa, is when you're planning to make an exit out of the country and your existing visa is coming to an end perhaps, and you don't have enough time. So for you to remain a legal immigrant or a legal resident in the country, you would need a bridging visa. So the different types of bridging visa depends on your situation. Now, Noah, do you want to tell us how you came to be on a bridging visa? Let us know.
Very interesting story, really. I know you don't know this part. Well, you know the part, right? So I used to live in the UK. So this beautiful lady made me
move to Australia.
To Australia.
Yeah.
So, I came on a student visa.
Yes.
We had a plan, and as I was coming towards the end of my student visa, as we said, needed to jump on a 491 visa.
Correct.
Again, because of my wife is on a 491 visa.
Yeah.
Right. So, making that transition into that type of visa, you would need a bridging visa.
Absolutely.
But if you know anything about Australian visa system, you would know that it takes a long time to get a decision. And in fact, I've been waiting how long?
For 2 years.
More than 2 years now.
Yes.
Waiting for this visa to arrive. Like I'm waiting. But anyway, it has its own ups and downs. Sometimes you're just like, what is happening? But yeah. That is the situation. I'm still currently waiting for that.
Correct.
To move away from bridging visa, but we will talk about some pros and cons.
We would. So basically what's happened there is when your student visa came to an end, obviously because you had lodged an application, immigration automatically issued you a bridging visa A, because you need to remain a lawful resident in the country, which makes sense. Now let's delve a little bit into some of the pros. Should we start with? We always need to start from the good points, isn't it?
Yeah.
I think from our perspective, one thing that I would say is the fact that I'm quite thankful for the bridging visa, because imagine a situation where whilst you await a decision, you have to do that offshore.
Crazy.
That would be insane.
I can't even imagine.
You can't live without making you.
No, I can't. Remember, like when we were dating, and this is us digressing. That moment, that COVID period when
everything
couldn't even travel, and it was hard, but we made it work. But that's just beyond. We'll talk about that in a.
We should talk about that in another video.
Talk about that, yeah. But
so one pro that I would say there is the fact that I am thankful for the bridging visa. And by the way, if you're wondering what type of bridging visa that is, that's called the bridging visa A. I will delve into the other type of bridging visa that we've had at some point, but specifically, Noah currently is on a bridging visa A, and that allows him to stay in Australia lawfully while Home Affairs makes a decision on his application. Now, for you, so that's one pro, the fact that you're still able to remain in the country with your family.
Yeah, that is the most important part.
I agree.
Right? Even if I'm not working, being around my family, because I've seen in the news where, a lot of people that are trying to reunite with their family sometimes apply and it takes like 4 years, 5 years, 6 years. I've seen in the news.
Wow.
And it's so tough. And I can't even imagine being away from my family for that long. Like, it would ruin me, right?
Especially in a country like Australia, where it would take freaking ages before things will get done. I mean, in our context, okay, look, some people have been very lucky where their application gets granted like quite quick, but in our context, it's dragged a fair bit, to be honest, and it's been, very interesting. So that's one pro. I guess another pro that jumps to my mind would be the fact that you're still able to work. You have no work restrictions. Unlike me, I've got work restriction as someone who needs to work only in organizations in the regional area. But in your context, you can work anywhere. You're not bound. You're a free bird.
But on the layer of that, right? So basically, just for clarity, on a bridging visa, you don't have work restrictions, so you can effectively work any hours for anybody, anywhere in Australia.
Let me add one caveat
But
to that.
yeah,
So, you can work freely, you have no work restrictions on a bridging visa, depending on the type of visa you had prior.
Yeah.
So because you're bridging obviously into a 491 visa,
Yeah.
that visa allows you to work. The all eligibility, the conditions of that visa gives you that free reign.
You see, guys, that's why we are saying based on our personal experience, right?
Yeah.
So if you're bridging from a student visa to another student visa, you would have restrictions like a student visa. So it's not going to automatically give you unlimited work right. Again, we're speaking based on our experience.
Yeah, so you may have to do some research to learn more about that.
Yeah, effectively, in my own case, basically I can work anywhere. But the caveat there is that because I don't actually know when my visa will be granted. Like 491 visa has restrictions. Like if you want to know more about our experience on 491 visa, please check the link below. We'll link that 491 video. So you know some of the rules and the
what you should or should not do.
Exactly. So because when assuming tomorrow they approve my 491 visa, now it takes away my unlimited work right anywhere in Australia. I will now need to be bounded by the restrictions of 491 visa. That is why when I'm taking a job, I always have that at the back of my mind, like, okay, just because of that dynamics, I don't want to work for a company that will not give me flexibility to work from home or work in the regional area.
Yeah. Another pro that jumps to mind, perhaps, and from our context, is that you're allowed to get married as well. It doesn't really impact any point or anything. The fact that you're on a bridging visa does not mean that you cannot get married to whoever you want, in the country. So please, I think that that's a good one to call out.
It is. It's substantial as well. You can do anything you want, really.
You can do anything you want.
Yeah, so I think we've covered basically every part of the pro, really.
Yeah. From our perspective, I think that sums up the pro for us. Perhaps we move into some of the cons, which is plenty.
Oh my God. Yeah.
I think the obvious one, or the very first one, is the fact that the mental stress.
Oh, yeah, that's why, like, I need to just think about it. Like, you feel it every time. The fact that you know that this visa, you're pretty much like
one leg in, one leg out.
So yeah, one leg in Australia, one leg back home.
Wherever you've come from.
Yeah. And what we mean by that is that depending on what the outcome of that visa is, if it's positive, then fine, you stay in
God bless
Australia.
you. If it's not,
then typically what happens?
You will be given certain number of days to exit the country.
Oh yeah, and we've heard of 30 days, right?
Oh my goodness.
Imagine getting a response, say, for example, sorry, your visa was not approved, and then they say you have 30 days to leave Australia.
The country, yeah.
Whoa.
That's tough.
That's very limited time.
Yeah.
Your whole life is like going to be like spinning, like what do I do, all of those stuff. So it's very destabilizing thinking about that eventuality,
But I think that it's also very important to note that we've gotten used to it.
Yeah.
And we stopped thinking about it. Like even if we were to get any notification from Home Affairs today, it would just be like, okay, what have they got again? Let's see what's in there.
Yeah.
But I think one important thing that we would love to share with you from my experience is do not be visa focused.
Yeah.
Do not focus on, I'm going to be happy only when I get my 491. I'm going to be happy only when my partner comes into the country. I'm only going to be happy when I get my PR. Please, save yourself some stress. Live your life. Give everything to God and just keep believing. You cannot live. Imagine we've lived every single day just waiting.
Oh, anxiously waiting. For more than 2 years. That's not a good life to live.
No, it's not.
No visa is worth that, right?
Nah, nothing. So please, let's be mindful. I know that it's a race and it's probably tougher for some people, but please be mindful, be conscious, and just put your faith in God
Yeah.
and just believe in God that at the right time, the visa would be granted.
I would like to learn, like, if you're on a bridging visa as well, and you're feeling the way I'm feeling, like we're feeling, let us know in the comment section,
That's
please.
true. That's true. I mean, like, I think it would be a really valuable conversation if you've been feeling very stressed about the visa. Leave us a message. I'm pretty sure, either myself or Noah would be more than happy to have a chat with you later on. Now, let's move into another disadvantage.
Oh, my goodness. Okay, no Medicare.
That is tough and
That is
annoying.
tough. Like, there are a few times where I needed to just do some tests.
Yeah.
And everything you pay out of
You just
pocket,
pay,
really.
pay,
You just
pay.
have to pay. And
It's
I
tough.
remember one time when I fell off
Don't
this.
say that. That scares me so much.
On the
This man
scooter.
fell off his scooter and
Oh my
he
goodness.
called me in the middle of my meeting. I just dropped everything. I didn't even tell them where I was. I was like,
Yeah.
nah, just ran.
That was really bad. And
really bad.
I was going to the gym, and of course I just got a scooter and
Feeling fly.
yeah, I was just riding the scooter on the walkway, and then
There was a stick on the road.
stick on the road, and I jammed my knees on the concrete
That was tough for
pavement,
us.
and we had to go to emergency, and the bill. Thankfully, I had private insurance.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's a way around that. I mean, you just need to get your private insurance. Even people that have Medicare,
You still, we still have insurance
they
as
still
well.
need to have private insurance, so it's
Yeah.
good. Yeah, so that's one part. You don't get access to free Medicare, like,
At
which
least
is
the
one of the
491.
good things of 491, because, like, I've seen some people that had to do, like, their birth and stuff and paid a lot, childbirth, and
Yeah.
we didn't have
Yeah.
to pay that
Yeah.
because you are on the 491, you have
491
that
was
Medicare.
covered.
So that made me kind of like appreciate
Relax.
Medicare a bit more, you know.
Yeah. No, another pro that is jumping into my mind. Oh my goodness. You cannot get any form of loan.
Another con.
Sorry, I meant another con.
Yeah.
Another con is like literally when you're on a bridging visa,
No.
you are not eligible to get any type of loan, whether car loan, oxygen loan, anything loan, fridge. Nah, no
But
one's going to give you that.
Just on that, I remember when we were trying to, like, look at
Housing
and
options, yeah.
all of that. I think Combank did say they could, but the interest rate was going to be
Alarming.
high. Because, of course, they see you as a like I explained, you're one leg in, one leg out. They don't want to give a
They
bad
also
loan.
can't take a risk.
So risk, with every increasing risk, the rate.
Interest rate increases.
Exactly. So it didn't just make sense to go along. So effectively, you have a small
Window.
pool of lenders willing to lend you on a
Bridging visa.
Bridging visa. So it will just discourage you not to even try, because, like,
tough.
it's too, like, the interest is crazy.
I think I remember now. It wasn't
Yeah.
It wasn't pretty. It was not worth it.
No, it wasn't.
So something that you could actually pop back into the house and build something even better.
I mean, it's down payment for just the interest. It's down payment for, like, someone on PR, for example.
Wow.
It didn't just make sense.
Wow.
Yeah, that's one part.
So just recapping, really, some of the cons of the bridging visa, you would not be eligible for Medicare card,
Yeah.
which is tough. You would not be able to get a loan as well. So another con that's jumped to mind right now, Noah, is, and I know that this is probably not very popular,
Yeah.
I think it may decrease some people's chances of getting employed,
Yeah.
especially if you cannot fully articulate it to your hiring managers, as an example.
That's correct. I remember when I got the bridging visa initially, and I was applying to some jobs,
They're like, "We don't
and they were
know
like,
what that is."
"Oh, we don't know what that visa is.
Yeah.
Oh, you don't have." They will go to Vivo, which is where they confirm your visa, rights,
Status
all
and
of that.
the rights.
Yeah, and the recruiters will say, "Oh, sorry, we were looking for a PR, a citizen." They didn't really understand, because of the temporary nature of the bridging visa, like we said, they may tell you if if you don't get the substantial visa, you then have 30 days. Organization don't want to take that risk, because it's a lot to hire somebody, and then 30 days they have to go to their home country and all this kind of stuff. So basically, it was tough. A lot of recruiter would say, oh, sorry, they'll just pass on and move on. But there's a way around it.
Yeah, and I think that that's very important to say. So if you are currently on a bridging visa A, and you know that you're bridging into something a bit more permanent, when you're applying to jobs, you need to strengthen your language. That's one thing that we've realized. So you can't say to a recruiter, so what sort of visa do you have? Yes, I have a bridging visa. They're going to look at you like, hey, so you need to ham up the language and be like, hey, I am currently awaiting a decision to be made on a XYZ visa. And then before you even, so that way their mind is clear, okay, she's waiting on someone. So currently I do have a visa that allows me to work with no restriction, allows me to work with any employer anywhere in Australia. That is all you have to say. Nothing about, sorry, I'm on a bridging visa. That don't mean nothing to a lot of hiring managers. And you can't blame them. They've just got limited knowledge about that.
I even made that mistake, right? And that's how, I would say, oh, but I used to be nervous, I'm on a bridging visa, and they ghost me, right? So that's why we've learned from that process. You need to explain the visa. Don't tell them the visa just upfront.
Explain what you've got.
Yeah, and like Tara has said, you need to just give them that, confidence that you can work anywhere.
I'm up the language.
This advice will save you a lot of stress and save you from losing out on your dream job. It's important for you to know.
You don't know, I even at that time when you used to talk to recruiters, I think I was pregnant, obviously, so it was a lot. And I sensed how agitated even you were to talk to recruiters. And I remember telling you, if you don't sound confident in yourself on what you have, I mean the visa, there's no way the hiring manager can feel confident to hire you. And then we kind of talk through the script. This is how, and I think that really changed the game.
Because you know that I always want to be honest, my yes should be my yes, right? I don't want to be saying no, I have this when you don't have that. So what I found is to explain my situation than just say the visa. Because once you say I'm a bridging visa, oh, what is that? And they just ghost you. So explain your situation. Oh, I'm bridging to this, or you would not even say bridging.
No, I told you, I advise you, say, don't say bridging. This is the script. Say to them, I am currently awaiting a decision on XYZ visa, or my permanent residency visa. My current visa does not have any form of restriction. I can work full 40 hours. I can work anywhere in Australia. Then the conversation will progress. Oh, okay, so what type? But you've given them context. You want to give me the trophy for that advice? All right, okay. And I guess when talking about some of the cons as well, is that
I'm stuck in Australia.
You are stuck in the country.
But if you travel on a bridging visa A, you can't come back. You cannot come back.
So, guys, I'll say that again. If you're currently on a bridging visa A and you want to travel overseas or leave Australia, please do not go without applying for a visa that allows you to leave and return. If you go out of the country on a bridging visa A, you will not be allowed to enter Australia again, ever, until their visa is granted.
So it's very important to understand that there's a way around it. So if you want to travel on this visa, basically there are some things you need to do, which is you need to apply to a bridging visa B. So bridging visa B is the solution for you to be able to travel. It's like notifying immigration. You want to travel for a specific period, and this is why I want to travel. You need to build your business case on that.
From memory, you need to give them a reason. But one thing I found is it doesn't have to be, you don't need to lie. I've told them twice I've traveled on a bridging visa B. Once I went to Nigeria to celebrate with my friend who was getting married,
Yeah.
a very good friend. And then secondly, I came to visit you in the UK on a bridging visa B.
Yeah.
So twice, I literally told them what the truth was. I told them I was going home to celebrate with my sister. She was getting married. And I said I was going to meet my longtime partner. You know, we were planning to get married, etc. But I don't think I told them I was planning to get married. But I told them that I was traveling to meet my partner.
I didn't know, but you better confess.
I didn't say that. I did not. I didn't say I was going to get married. I said I was going to meet
Sorry, you guys will not understand.
I said I was going to meet my boyfriend, duh. I can show you there, but stop.
How did you know I was going to marry you?
I knew you were going to marry me because you told me
So you wrote it down,
I didn't say that. I didn't say that. I didn't say that, but you.
Sorry, guys, you don't know this gist. It's because we were not married then. We were just dating. We've not met before.
I didn't say I was going to get married. I said I was going to see my boyfriend.
Oh, okay. You confessed.
I didn't.
Anyway, back to the video. So basically.
So yes, so twice I traveled on a bridging visa B. One to send my girl off to her husband's house, and the second one was to visit my boyfriend.
Send yourself off to your husband's house.
Stop! Oh, was to visit this man over here. We were dating at that point in time. It was my boyfriend. Yes, so duh, I didn't tell them I was going to get married. I didn't say that. I'll show you the letter post this video. So yes, so please don't leave the country on a bridging visa A without applying for a bridging visa B. If you want to learn more, please go to the website of Department of Home Affairs. It's got all the information. I've done the application myself before. It's literally one of the easiest, quickest, fastest, anything in Australia. In Australia, like one of the quickest ones you can ever get from a visa point of view.
Yeah, and because again, with good reason, you're bridging, you need it fast. Yeah, basically, when I was traveling to Fiji last year, I applied and it was like 1 day, literally and they gave me the visa and I was able to travel. But when I was coming back, I was nervous. I was nervous.
What if they don't allow me to come to the country?
I was like, okay. God help me, because
God,
what if they say,
sorry,
you made a mistake or whatever. So I was just a bit nervous there.
Actually, no. And now that you say that, I think when myself and my friend went to Nigeria in 2017, I don't remember if we were both nervous or if it was just me. But there was a part of me that was thinking, hey, what if they say, sorry, girl, you can't go back to Australia again? Yeah. But when I came to the UK, I didn't feel like that because I'm like, duh.
Yeah.
I know exactly what this is all about.
You can stay in the UK as well.
At least the UK is not as bad as in my opinion. It wouldn't have been as bad as me being stuck in Nigeria. Yeah. Yes, and if you would like to learn more about 491 visa, as I've said prior, please click on the link below. And again, if you're in Australia and you're looking to explore no-code tech roles, Noah?
Absolutely. We're career coaches. We've helped a ton of people make successful
transition into the tech world.
And they are thriving, they're enjoying. We meet them, we see them, we love them.
They love us.
If you want to change your life, this is a good time as well.
It is.
Before 2025, you can make a change.
You can.
And you know where to catch us, right? You
know where to catch us. We're on Instagram, we're on YT, aka YouTube. We're on TikTok as well. But if you would like one-on-one consultation with myself and Onoa, please leave us a comment. I will see you soon.
We've had fun with this one, guys. You can check this video and then watch the 491. I'm sure you get a lot of value there. Speak to you.
Until next time.
You remain your host,
Tayo and Noah. Bye.
Bye.